The views expressed on the following program are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and are not necessarily those of WMEL staff, management, or advertisers.
Welcome to Helping Seniors of Brevard, the radio arm of Helping Seniors of Brevard. My name is Kay Kaiser. I'm the information specialist, and I'm very excited to be sitting in with Joe Steckler today, who's on a special assignment. Believe it or not, he's videotaping new television shows. So if you haven't tuned in to any of our television shows as well, be sure to do that. We list it all on our website, the dates and times and so forth, that you can pick up any of our television shows on the air, or simply go to helpingseniors.brevard.org, because we archive all of our outreach media, including the show that you'll be hearing today. In a couple of days, we'll probably be able to listen to it live on helpingseniors.brevard.org. But before I introduce our guest today, Jennifer Helin, I'd like to give a special thanks to our underwriters, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we are doing. And, for those who may not or be just tuning in here today, if you have a question you'd like to propose to our guest, Jennifer Helin, I would like you to take down the number, the area code 321-241-1060. If you have a specific question, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to answer any of those questions. But for, people who are not familiar with Helping Seniors of Brevard, we're a non-profit organization. And if you're a senior searching for assistance in finding services for health, household, financial, legal, or other needs, please give us a call at 321-473-7770. So a special thanks to Aldea Today, Atlantic Shores Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, Barbara McIntyre, who is a specialist in reverse mortgages, Canadian Meds of Melbourne, Clear Channel Outdoors, Courtney and Braswell Financial Group, Ebony News Today, Ear Care, which is audiologist, one of our new underwriters here, Gentiva Home Health, Handy Pro of the Space Coast, a relatively new underwriter as well, Hometown News, Levin Home Care Nurse Registry, Peaceful Beach Mediation, Riverview Senior Resort, another new underwriter. So we'll get into the rest of our underwriters and the people that make this program possible in our second half of the show. So I'm very excited, like I said, to introduce Jennifer Helin. Now, don't get these two names mixed up. You're on the show of Helping Seniors of Brevard, but your company name is Seniors Helping Seniors.
Yes, it's a little confusing, isn't it?
A little bit. It's very much similar in the respect. So, Jennifer Helin, thank you for joining me on the air today. Let's talk a little bit about you and how you got started in Seniors Helping Seniors today.
Well, thank you, Kay. It's a pleasure to be here. We got started because we had our own need in our own family. And we saw the need for flexible senior care here in the county. Mm-hmm. And we also saw the benefit of having a senior helping a senior, someone a little closer in age, that speaks the same language, that has the same interests, someone who's coming in and able to do things maybe in a little bit more similar fashion that they're used to.
I bet you that's an extremely important point, Jennifer Helin, because a lot of seniors, they're living in their home, to think that they're finally asking for maybe just a little extra help, and to have maybe somebody who's just going in for CNA training or so forth, just out of high school and going to college, is not necessarily going to relate to that generation as well as somebody who actually is a senior. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. There is a big difference. For instance, even my generation, we Google.
Oh yeah.
I'm in my 40s. I don't grab a phone book. I go to the computer and I Google something.
Right.
But someone who's 90 is still grabbing that phone book. And if you don't know what a phone book is, how do you relate to one another?
Absolutely.
So there definitely is a big difference there. And you're right. A lot of the seniors that we work with are just coming into needing a little bit of help around the house. And that's a hard step. That's a very difficult thing of acknowledging that I'm not able to do everything on my own. Mm-hmm. Some people don't have a hard time with it, but a lot of people do. It's a big step. And so it's more comforting having someone come in, we're not here to take over. We're just here to lend a hand. We're
Right.
kind of your executive secretary or your administrative assistant, your sous chef. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're just here to help a little bit and in a way that they can appreciate.
And I think that's probably, one of the biggest reasons why it's so important for people to understand seniors helping seniors is really a beginning point. And it's hard enough for a senior or maybe their son or daughter to say, hey, my mom, she's just starting to not do quite as well on certain things around the house. Or maybe she's experiencing a little macular degeneration. She shouldn't be driving out there. We've got to find her just a little bit of help. But mom is going to deny, oh, no, I'm going to be just fine, right?
Right.
And you hear that a lot, I bet, don't you?
We hear that a lot. I don't need any help.
They're in denial. But on the other hand, it's for their own safety. And it's for their own, what I want to call, aging with dignity in their home. They've got all their familiar environment. Yeah, they may not be moving quite as quickly as they used to years ago. But, by golly, just to have somebody come in and develop a relationship with them, someone they can trust, is so vital.
It really is. It is. And having that comfortable environment that they've been in for 20, 30 years, if they get up in the middle of the night and the lights are off, they can pretty much remote control get to the bathroom.
Right.
Where we have had circumstances where, the daughter told me I tried to move mom in and she got up in the middle of the night and she fell because she didn't know where she was.
Yeah.
And the intentions were wonderful. But if there is a way to keep them safely in their home with, lots of social activity, then that might be an ideal place for them to be.
Absolutely.
And so that's our goal, is to help people stay where they want to be with as much dignity and respect and independence as possible.
Well, I think, we had an advocacy council that we submitted an aging plan to our commissioners, and Brevard County is growing rapidly with seniors. As a matter of fact, now that the baby boomers are into the 50 plus and we go by AARP, it's going to be overwhelming here. So having the need for what you have a service for, Jennifer, I think you've got the bullseye, because it's only going to grow.
It will, and we're happy to be here, and we're happy to offer the services. And it really makes me feel good going into a home knowing that I can put someone who's very safe, very conscientious, compassionate. That we can do a really nice job for them.
Well, when you first get a call, let's kind of walk our listening audience through the process here. So somebody calls and they say, I think I need some help. What would be the second step that you take part in?
All right. Well, we talk a little bit over the phone to find out what kind of help they need to see if we are a good fit. Because if we're not, we will refer them to a company who can meet their needs.
Okay.
We're a homemaker companion care. We do lots of wonderful things, but we don't do the medical and we don't do the hands-on.
Okay, that's important
Licensing is
to know.
very specific here in Florida. So we would pass that on. If someone needs help in the shower, we would recommend a very nice company for them.
Okay.
But if it's something that we're a good fit for, then what we do is, and I'm typically the one who goes out.
Right.
I go out and do assessment. There's no charge for that, but I really try to fish out exactly what would be helpful, and also what that person is like. Where are they from? What do they like to do? So that when we do bring someone in, we really try to match personalities, interests, so that it is someone comfortable coming into the house.
I can remember one of the first clients that I recommended to you was a lady, our daughter, calling for her Italian mother. And mom just needed some help cooking and doing some things around the house. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a hard one to find. But you tell the rest of the story. What happened?
Oh, that was fun. That really was fun. I wish I could have been there for every service. We happen to have a lady that works with us who is Italian, speaks fluent Italian, is a wonderful cook. And she would go over once a week and make a nice big Italian meal that they could enjoy together that day, but then also put away some homemade microwave meals for later in the week. And she really enjoyed it, and the lady really enjoyed her. They had a wonderful time together. We had them about 2 years that we were able to provide services.
So see, that gets into the personality aspect of your business, having somebody that really can relate to what they are, their background is, and to put that kind of match together, that's phenomenal.
That's the fun part. I get to play matchmaker.
I'm sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the actual services that you provide. Can you give us a kind of bullet point list here? Okay.
We provide transportation to and from doctor's appointments or the grocery store, actually anywhere someone wants to go. We'll do light housekeeping. We'll do meal preparation, medication reminders.
Okay.
Anything that is non-medical we'll do. We have walked cats. We've walked dogs, taken care of cats, and we've even taken care of a bunny rabbit. So we'll try to get creative and meet people's needs and meet their schedules and their budgets.
Okay. Can we go as far as much to talk about, I know before we went on the air, we had a gentleman who was asking about cost.
Yes.
And talk about some of the range of costs, beginning with maybe the low up to the high?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. We actually just, for the very first time in 4 years, took a rate increase. So we are now $17 an hour for most in-home services. We do have handyman and cleaning services that they're our most expensive. They're $25 an hour.
Okay.
All of our services have a 2-hour minimum.
Okay.
And but that could be once a week, once a month. We try to be very flexible.
Well, that's an important point too, Jennifer, Helin, the fact that you don't require a large contract.
Right.
A lot of people, when they start shopping around for help, they're going to be committed to X amount of hours each and every week. No flexibility, but you are very flexible.
That's what we found when we needed help with our family, and we didn't need 4 hours a day. We needed a little chunk of time. We needed a 2-hour every morning. We could be there every afternoon. So we knew that we needed to be more flexible. And we'll also, we had a lady 3 years ago now sign up with us. She said, I don't need you now, but I know I'm going to, and I want to start the relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think we took her maybe once, didn't hear from her for 6 months, and we would call every now and then, hi, we're still here if you need us. The next year she used us once or twice. Well, now she's to the point where she does need us, and we drive her to and from doctor's appointments or in the house maybe once or twice a month. So it's been a very long relationship. She hasn't used us, the first year she probably only used us one time, but, and that's okay. We're here for peace of mind.
Right.
She knew we were there if she needed us. And that's okay.
And that's important. So I think if anybody wants to get a hold of you, Jennifer, let's take and shout out your telephone number.
Great. Thank you. It's 321-722-2999.
Say it one more time.
321-722-2999.
Okay, that's an easy number to remember. And in case you didn't get that, you can always call Helping Seniors at 473-7770. I know I've got your telephone number just memorized, so, as many times.
As I do yours.
Okay. Well, I think that, taking the first step in asking for help as a senior may not be the most pleasant idea. However, being for your benefit, for your safety, and wouldn't you rather be living in your own home, paying a less amount for just a little extra help versus living maybe in an assisted living facility?
Absolutely. And we would love to be able to come in and help while people are still independent. And help with maybe some of the things that are a little bit harder, maybe like the light housekeeping, to prevent a fall. We would love to prevent any fall if possible, because once a fall occurs, then a whole new
it opens
set
up a
of
whole
services
new
come
into
place. Right. So being able to provide that help, maybe with some meal preparation and encouraging eating and drinking, would help keep people at home and out of the hospital.
Do you find a lot of your clients are basically just needing companionship? They're lonely. They may have family living far away and relatives and so forth. And it's just having somebody to really talk to and get to know and maybe play some cards even with.
Oh, absolutely. We do have some services that we do that are just solely companionship.
Okay.
But even when we're driving someone to the doctor's office, there's a lot of companionship there too. Even our transportations, we try to keep it the same person every time so they're familiar with one another, and they build up a bond.
I'm sure they do. And I'm sure that the senior who's getting the service from seniors helping seniors looks forward to that person, when they show up at their door. Hey, it's a friend of mine, I bet now, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's what I tell everybody. We want you to say, oh, look, Kay's here. Not, oh, boy, Kay's here. We want it to be a really good fit. And if it's not, we'll change that person out.
Okay.
We want everybody to be happy.
And I bet for the most part that when you do assess an individual, and you look at their personalities, you look at their interests and everything, your staff so well to say, okay, we think this is going to be a good match. And for the most part, they are, right?
Yes. We've got a pretty good success rate with matches.
Good.
Every once in a blue moon, something will happen, and it does, and that's okay. I tell people not to feel bad.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's really exciting to go back through and say, now, wait a minute, wasn't so-and-so from West Virginia? They're from the same town.
Something
so you can talk about the same places and the
Yay.
restaurants, and so that's a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. How much of the seniors does your company help with bill paying, for example, and going over the different paperwork and the mail and things like that come in? Because I know in working for a retirement community years ago and for many years that being able to see and understand or maybe budget might be a difficult problem for a senior. Would you agree?
Yes, and there's so many frauds and scams out there.
Oh, thank you. That's where I'm going.
Mail.
Okay.
That's really something that we watch for. And we do a lot of organization. We'll help weed through the mail of what's junk mail, what's regular mail. This is your FPL bill that has to be paid.
Right.
When we're getting into the bill paying, we're very, very cautious about that, the fiduciary responsibility there.
Yeah,
we work very closely with the family.
Okay, good.
A huge advocate of the family going online, and doing the bill paying all online. They can do that from Texas or North Carolina,
Anywhere.
wherever they're from.
You bet.
And kind of monitor bank accounts, and not that the senior, is not able to do that.
Right.
But there's just so much fraud out there. Having a second set of eyes on things is a huge thing. It's a good thing to have.
I know Joe Steckler and I have talked many times on the radio about that very same thing. And unfortunately, they may get a call, from the IRS or get into a fear factor that they've got to send money. Well, first of all, the IRS would never do that. It would come in an official envelope, not something by phone. So that fear thing is a really vulnerable aspect of seniors being taken advantage of.
It is. And unfortunately, we are coming into that season because taxes will be due.
Oh, that's right.
We will be getting lots and lots of phone calls. And I have a lot of seniors who won't answer their phone until they know that they know who that person is, and they hear my voice on the phone, then they'll pick it up. And I am fine with that because there are so many telemarketing phone calls that they get. And unfortunately, so many of the scams are good. They're good. They're not.
No, they're experts at it.
So official.
Oh, yes.
So it's really, you have to be very, very careful.
Absolutely. And I can't stress that enough. If you get a suspicious call and somebody's asking for money, or if you get an email even saying that your grandson is in XYZ country and that you need to overnight money and that you're guaranteed as a result of that you'll get a lot of money back into your account, put that red flag up.
Absolutely. Call the grandson first. Call your local police station and check it out. Hey, I got this phone call. Is this legitimate?
Report it. Report it, absolutely, because, there's a lot of television news stories seen locally or in Orlando that cover these kind of subjects as seen on 6 or 9 and so forth. And, you're right, Jennifer. We're coming up to a tax season now. People are going to be getting calls. You need to be extremely, extremely important. And do not give your money out to an unknown stranger.
Absolutely. And do not give your credit card number out. Do not give your Social Security number out on the phone.
Absolutely. Well, Jennifer Helin, back to your business, Seniors Helping Seniors. How many employees do you have right now?
Right now, we have about 65 active seniors working for us.
Wow.
We've got a couple people out on sick leave, but 65 active, wonderful, compassionate seniors.
And you cover all of Brevard County, is that correct?
We do now. Yes, we do. It's very exciting. That is a recent phenomenon. We just, prior to this, we were southern Brevard, the southern half of Brevard County, but officially now we go all the way up into Titusville. So we have expanded, and we're very excited about that.
Excellent.
Serving the needs of all of Brevard County.
And I've got to ask this question. Are you looking for more seniors to recruit?
Yes, we are, especially up in the northern part. We would love to have more people working with us up there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So, again, if you need to get a hold of Jennifer Helin with Seniors Helping Seniors on the Helping Seniors of Brevard show today, you can give her a call at, let's mention your number here again.
321-722-2999.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Jennifer. We've got a lot more that I really want to cover in our second half today, but I think that for the most part, you know, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Helping Seniors of Brevard radio arm, and my name is Kay Kaiser, sitting in for Joe Steckler today, who's on a special assignment, and you'll be able to watch him live on TV, not live, rather, a pre-recorded television program. Everything we do in our outreach media is archived on our website, Helping Seniors of Brevard. It can be television, it can be this radio station, it can be we have an 8-page newsletter, and it's featured in Senior Scene Magazine, Hometown News, Spotlight Magazine, Ebony News Today, Aldea Today. We think we've got it covered. So if you want to find out about Helping Seniors of Brevard, or you're looking for a specific subject, go to our website. You can actually do a search little tab there to take you directly to a particular subject that you may be wanting to learn more about. So stay with us. We're going to be back shortly for our second half of Helping Seniors of today, because with Jennifer Helin of Seniors Helping Seniors, we've got a lot more things to bring to your attention. So stay with us, and we'll be right back after a short break.
AM 1060 WMEL.
Welcome back to Helping Seniors of Brevard, the radio arm of Helping Seniors of Brevard. My name is Kay Kaiser. My official title is the Information Specialist at Helping Seniors of Brevard. And I'm sitting in for our world-famous Joe Steckler, who's on a special assignment today, getting videotaped and producing and getting involved in new television shows that will be back up on the air relatively soon. So if you've missed any of these TV shows, radio shows, print articles, everything that we do in our outreach media, you can simply go to our website, helpingseniorsofbrevard.org, because everything is archived there. There's even a search tab if you're looking for something specific to learn more, because one of the mission statements is, one of the things that we're trying to do is, in Helping Seniors of Brevard, is to allow seniors and caretakers a place to call for improving the quality of life through the provision of information, education, and resources. And so I'm going to get into reintroducing Jennifer Helin of Seniors Helping Seniors. But before I do, our list of underwriters continues to grow, and without them, folks, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be able to do things like our radio show here today. Because, every time, whether it's I have Jennifer Helin with me today, Joe Steckler has various hosts, our guests rather, that are specialists in various types of professions, and they can speak in bringing it down to a more understandable knowledge of what they are maybe looking at, not having to be like way up a doctor's degree or master's degree, but Joe does such an excellent job in interviewing those guests and the information that is provided by those guests, along with Joe asking pertinent questions that he feels are important for people to know. So check our website out, helpingseniorsofbrevard.org, and you'll be able to learn a lot more. But without further ado, I want to go back and thank our underwriters. We have Riverview Senior Resort, Senior Scene Magazine, Senior Care Brevard, Dr. Lee Sheldon, Spotlight Brevard, the Eye Institute, the Fountains of Melbourne, VITAS, Wendy Handy, who's a sales associate with Dale Sorensen, Weidelman Malick, attorneys, Bill Johnson, WMEL AM. I wanted to throw in that AM before I got the call letters. That's WMEL, AM 1060, which is what you're listening to. Wusthof Health System and Seniors Helping Seniors. And Jennifer Helin, who is the owner of Seniors Helping Seniors, is our guest today. So welcome back to our second half, Jennifer.
Thank you, Kay. Pleasure to be here again.
Yes, indeed. Well, if you're just tuning in or catching up with us, Jennifer Helin has a wonderful business, and it's called Seniors Helping Seniors. And folks, it's really about the first step. You know, if mom or dad are looking like, okay, they're not quite getting along as well as they used to be, they can't quite handle all the cleaning, they can't handle all the cooking, and now they may not be able to be properly and should maybe not be driving. What do you say about that, Jennifer?
That is a huge issue. More so for men than for women, but for Brevard County especially, I think it's very difficult, especially if you've grown up around a city like New York, where there's really different means of transportation readily available.
Right.
Our county is so spread out that if you live off of one of the bus routes, you're going to have difficulty. And so transportation, driving is a huge thing for everyone. And it's a hard thing to give up. When you've been driving yourself for 50 years,
yes.
Giving up your license it's a major step. It's very hard for people to do.
And that's a heartbreaking and emotional aspect. You know, all your life, you got your license at 16, and you're in your 80s now. Good grief, the majority of your life you've been driving. You've been used to being able to have that independence, turn on the keys or push button or whatever, and be able to go when you want to go and where you want to go. But Jennifer Helin, I find, you know, especially coming up in the spring break and everything, I mean, you can typically drive down A1A around Cocoa Beach. You know, we've got all these seniors coming in. They've got rental cars and everything else going on. And they're not driving too well, to be honest with you. They're not paying attention to the lights. They're not paying attention to the car, the vehicle. And, you know, you just got to be careful. And I thought, there's something going on here. You can always tell when it's spring break because it brings out a lot of drivers much more on the road, too. And they come down and they're used to or accustomed to driving a certain way in the state that they're from. And here it's a totally different story.
And it seems like our traffic, I think, in Brevard has gotten worse even in the last 5 years. We've got more people moving into the area, and traffic is a little bit more congested. And it's there are certain roads that you don't want to be on during rush hour. So
That's right.
It's a little bit more tricky than it used to be.
I totally agree. I've been here for a number of years myself, and I just noticed that, you know, wow. You know, I can remember Merritt Island just 25 years ago was just a small little town. Everything was so close, and now it's just, woof, it's grown. So one of the things that I think, you know, it's important for people to understand, besides the fact that, you know, when you're trying to look for extra help, and you want to be able to stay in your own home and age with dignity. Jennifer Helin is the owner of Seniors Helping Seniors, and it basically is the starting point. So again, for maybe we touched on it in the first half. Let's just go over some of your services here again in the second half, so people understand what type of services you do offer, Jennifer.
All right. So we do the transportation. We do light housekeeping, meal preparation. We can do medication reminders, organizational things, computer help, anything that is non-medical.
Okay.
You know, or hands-off we can do.
Right.
But a big part of that is the transportation, especially if you're living in Barefoot Bay or Palm Bay.
Right.
There aren't quite as many resources in those areas. So transportation, being able to get out to the grocery store on a regular basis, going to doctor's appointments.
Right.
And we do, we'll pick you up, we'll take you to the doctor's office, Gateway, very popular spot.
Yeah.
Take you through the building, get to your doctor's office. We'll even go in with them if that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take notes.
Good.
So that when the doctor's talking to you, and if you're maybe a little hard of hearing or the doctor has an accent, I would love to have somebody with me taking notes, because you always forget when you get home. Now, what did he say?
That's a great point, Jennifer and Helen, because, you get in there, you're maybe not feeling that good that day, or you're in for a final checkup or whatever, and, you get into a doctor's office, there's a lot of busyness going on anyway. So the nurse comes in and takes your blood pressure, and then the doctor finally comes in and is looking at your chart and giving you an analogy of the different things that you need to be looking at, and suggesting a plan and new prescriptions. And maybe you forgot to ask, oh gosh, are there any side effects from that? But if your senior assistant or provider in this case is taking notes, that's excellent.
Right, and we give those notes right back to the person, and then they can be looking, over them when they get home and say, "Oh, that's right, the doctor said this."
Right.
And it's a nice, just a second set of ears. And like I said, we don't keep that information; we give it to them.
Right.
And it's just another way of being a helping hand.
Well, and that's something that goes over and beyond just a typical ride to the doctor's office, where you dropped off, and by the time you get finished with your appointment and everything, you pick up and call that cell phone for that individual, come back and pick you up. And then, it's like, and sometimes I've heard people in public transportation having to wait for an hour and a half for that bus route to come back through. So to have somebody actually go with you and to be listening to the doctor and to have that information available to you, I'd never even thought about that. That's got to be a big reason to call you.
We like to be able to do that for people, if they want it. If they want us to sit out in the lobby and wait for them, we can. We can also stop by, CVS, Walgreens, wherever their pharmacy is, to pick up the prescription on the way back home, get a few groceries.
There you go.
Help them in the house with them.
And again, to reiterate what you had mentioned in the first half, Jennifer Helin, was the fact that you don't require a big contract. Your minimum is just 2 hours.
Right.
Okay. All right. I want to get back to this transportation thing, because it seems to be coming up from my callers here more frequent than not.
We get a lot of calls for transportation.
Yeah. And for a senior, like we were talking about earlier, the fact is to give up your license, to, not be able to drive, that's hurtful. And it's kind of the sense of pride. Oh my gosh, I really am getting older. I have to give this up? No, I'm not going to give it up.
It's so hard. I have a funny story. I found online, I was researching some resources for people, and I found a contract online where you designate the person that can tell you, okay, it's time for you to stop driving. That this is the person that I trust to tell me that it's time.
Interesting.
And so you put that person's name down and you sign it and they sign it and you agree in this contract that someday, 10, 20, however many years from now, this person is I'm okay with that person telling me.
Okay.
So social experiment, I printed them out and I handed them out to my own family at dinner. My parents were there, my husband's parents. We had maybe 10 or 11 people at dinner. Handed these contracts out. I took one, gave one to my husband, everybody got one. Not one person would fill it out.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
They all looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, that goes to show you, no, they're not going to give up that independent being able to drive themselves.
Exactly. It is so tough.
And I was looking at your website, and I may have gotten this off your own, but, there was a story on there, should you be worried about your parent driving a car? Think about this for a moment. This is your parent. Now, sure, we understand they don't want to sign any kind of agreement here. But on the other hand, it's for their benefit. And the hardest thing, is, getting older doesn't make your senior parent a bad driver necessarily, but there are changes that may affect their driving skills over time. And I want to touch briefly on some of those, Jennifer, Helen, for a moment.
Absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, everybody's heard about arthritis, and it seems to be a predominant, factor. When you do age, your joints going to get stiff, your muscles may weaken a little bit, but think about a simple thing about backing up a car in a parking lot. Okay, you may not be able to look back as far because your neck hurts or your back hurts, things like that. That is not going to allow you to make those important decisions on your driving skills and backing up. That's just one example. There's many, many more. But what a senior can do is see their doctor if they think that arthritis or stiffness gets in the way of the driving skills. Talk to your doctor. Don't feel ashamed to say, okay, doctor, I'm noticing that I can't turn around or see, quite as well my visibility and just backing up, something as simple as that. If possible, it's important for seniors to stay active too.
Absolutely.
Exercise. Gosh darn, if you're thinking you're in your retirement years, your golden years, and all you're doing is sitting around, what's going to happen to those muscles and joints? They are going to stiffen up, aren't they?
They are. We've got one lady. I love her. She's 96. She goes to the gym at least 3 days a week.
Excellent.
And that's why she is so active, because she's continued to be active. She has exercised. She is just phenomenal. But we don't really help her. We help a friend of hers.
Interesting.
I just love her.
Well, I hear stories like this all the time of people who are just amazing what they're doing, and I think that's the key. I know, let's take, for example, our president, our founder of Helping Seniors of Brevard. He's so active, and he's so sharp, but I think, this is what he lives for, to be able to do this kind of service in helping seniors of Brevard.
Right, he goes to the gym.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's amazing. And, it's so important to think about that because, giving up driving is an emotional thing for seniors. But, staying active. Look, there's another aspect. What about their vision? What happens when somebody ages? Do their eyes, are they as strong as they used to be? Do they have cataracts? What do they do? And they're really not noticing it. Are they seeing their eye doctor often? Okay. Are they getting their prescriptions checked? All these factor in, and one of the other things too that I've even noticed is that, driving in the evening, the glare kind of bothers me, and I've got pretty bad stigmatism, but seeing double and seeing that glare is but not to even mention the fact that there's the cataracts, the glaucoma. I hear so many seniors who have macular degeneration.
We do too. There's a lot of macular degeneration.
So, in essence, this is another reason why they need to contact you. Or contact Helping Seniors of Brevard at 473-7770, and we'll put you in touch with the appropriate resources you're looking for. And with Seniors Helping Seniors, Jennifer Helin, transportation is one of the key things that they do. Okay, let's elaborate a little bit more on this driving. Because I bet a lot of people were kind of thinking, oh, yeah, what are they talking about? And I'm never giving up my license.
There you go. I don't want to hear about it.
No. What's another thing that affects the driving? How about hearing? How many seniors wear hearing aids? Can they hear a siren that is coming up behind them in order to be safely pulled over to the side of the road?
Or maybe who are resisting hearing aids but really should have them.
Absolutely. And again, that's what I say, the denial time, the denial. And we're not trying to, Jennifer and I are not trying by any means to say, okay, if you're a senior, you shouldn't be on the road. That's not a point at all. But all these factor in, and one of the big services that Jennifer Helin's Helping Seniors is transportation, folks. So I know, having worked with seniors for so many years, it was the hardest thing to give up their license, to give up their car. But when they would come back to the community with little bumps on their car, I said, I think it's time. You need to look at that, because now today it's just a little bump. or a little bend in your car. What if the next time you run into somebody? So you're not only putting yourself at jeopardy or risk, you're putting somebody else in that position. So think about that. Think about, the reaction time may not be as quick as it used to be when you were younger. If somebody pounds on their, brakes right in front of you, are you going to be able to stop at that instant as well in that time frame? So it's real important to kind of look at all these different things. And Jennifer, Helen, you mentioned to me, was it Sea Pines?
It is. Health South,
Okay.
Sea Pines, has a great program with their physical therapy where you can go in, and it does cost, I think it's around $100, but if you're really starting to think that you shouldn't be driving anymore, or maybe you've even, gotten a letter from the state saying you're not allowed to drive anymore.
Right.
You can go there, and it's not a behind the wheel test, but they will run you through a series of activities that measure your reaction time, your vision, your peripheral, to see if you are safe to get behind a wheel. And it takes, what I like about that is it takes the guesswork out of it.
That's good.
Do I or don't I have that reaction time that I need?
That's important.
And they measure it. It's very objective. And then it's not the kids telling mom or dad, or it's no one else but some very factual data saying, okay, yeah, the reaction time is half of
what it should be. Yeah.
So we it's time
to consider.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, AARP has a program too, that you can attend a class, and that they will give you a good driver, a seal of approval. And if I'm not mistaken as well, I'm not checking on this, make a note of myself, that will reduce your insurance as well.
I have heard about that. I'm not sure of the particulars, but I've heard about that. And there's also a CarFit program, and I'm honestly not sure who runs that. That's terrible. But I see the flyers maybe once or twice a year where you can go, and they will make sure that the car is fitting you properly, that you're sitting properly in the car to be able to see out of the mirrors. And I have a sister who's 4'8". She's tiny. So for her, that really is a big difference, fitting in the car so she can see and be able to peripheral vision monitor everything around her. It sounds silly, but CarFit is an excellent thing.
That reminds me, there used to be either a cartoon or a photograph of a senior lady who's behind the wheel. And I can remember the picture. She was all hunched over, but that she had to look up in order to drive. Have you seen that? You know which one I'm talking about?
I have, because I would tease my sister about it.
So I remember cutting that out years ago and posting it on the bulletin board in a retirement community, because I said, do you really think you should be in this position driving? And it's just arthritis set in, osteoporosis, any of those things make a difference on your visibility in getting behind that wheel.
Absolutely. So we want you to be proactive.
There you go. That's the bottom line, Jennifer Helin. And shout out your number here again. How do people get a hold of you?
Give us a call at 321-722-2999. Miss Laura is there right now. I'll give a shout out to Miss Laura. She is there and absolutely wonderful. She would be happy to talk to you while I'm here at the radio show. Okay.
And if you didn't have a chance to write that number down, you're welcome to call Helping Seniors of Brevard at 321-473-7770. My name is Kay Kaiser. I'm the information specialist, and although every call, if I'm on the phone talking to another individual and you get a recording, you'll have Joe's voice on it, please leave a message, because I do return all the calls. And not only that, if you don't leave a message, how can I help you? So by leaving a message, we've got a backup system here. First of all, I keep my smartphone right on my desk, and it's connected to our virtual office. And the fact that somebody leaves a message, I get an alert on my smartphone. So all that's recorded. It also gets an alert on Joe Steckler's email and Carrie, our media specialist. So we've got everything wrapped up, and I know there's been calls just since I've been at the station today. We'll be getting back with you when we get back in the office. So I want to thank my guest, Jennifer Helin, with Seniors Helping Seniors.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you for doing such a wonderful job at helping seniors of Brevard County.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's when, I love it when people say thank you, because we do call them back, and that's an oddity, because a lot of people say, you actually called me back. So I want to thank you for listening to Helping Seniors of Brevard. I'm sure Joe Steckler will be back on the air with you next week. So tune in next Thursday at 1 p.m. on AM 1060 WMEL.